Now, this game brings back some memories, not all of which are the most pleasant.
Now, why exactly is that? Well, I guess I should start off here with this game's story. It playing out as yet another misadventure for Jimmy Neutron, the kid boy genius who always uses science to get himself in and out of situations. With this particular instance being a story about how he traps himself in another dimension, an alternate dimension where an evil version of him lives. That being the titular Jimmy Negatron. That comes complete with an evil lackey, a mad scientist lab coat, and a fake goatee. Now with Jimmy trapped in Negatron's dimension, Negatron goes and screws with Jimmy's dimension. So now it is up to Jimmy to get back to his dimension and stop Negatron. And well, that covers up the simple story. Nothing really too much here, just a simple story of an evil version of the main character trying to be evil. But anyway, now moving on to the gameplay. It being split between two types of ways to play. The first of which being like the general 3D like action platformer stuff, but it's not as straightforward as you would think. I mean, Goddard is there to like bring you towards the right direction, but these levels are like open-ended. They actually have some stuff to explore outside of the main route, and some neat little goodies to like find within those secret areas. And I do have to give the game a bit of credit for this, since it's a bit more in-depth than you would think at first thought. But anyway, other things you'll do is like fight against enemies, but you'll do this in a cool way. Since this game properly utilizes like Jimmy's big brain, with you picking up random objects and once you get enough of them you put together a weapon to use, or like a power-up, like I think there's a speed power-up or like a shield. But yeah, that's how these levels kinda just go. You get items, you platform, you fight off enemies, you get to the end, that's really it. And then there's the second type of levels you'll do, which are vehicle levels, where you'll control vehicles and like just keep driving to try and escape like a tidal wave, or ride across a virtual like highway while you shoot at like literal computer bugs. But that more or less covers the gameplay. Next, I suppose I should quickly knock out the graphics, which, considering that this show was made in 3D to begin with, it's actually not that bad of a translation, for the time at least. Since now we could easily look at these models and just laugh at them, since nowadays these are the type of 3D character models people would make fun of, for having such limited animation and just looking so off-putting. And then you have the world around you, which, I mean, is perfectly fine, but it does the classic thing old 3D games did, where like all the world borders are just crappy drawings. But in the end, the game is just overall, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. It's perfectly serviceable. But anyway, that covers the graphics, now onto the music. And well, the music in this game surprisingly has a range of like generic stuff that you wouldn't really care for, to some pieces actually being quite good, honestly. Like the underwater level or the virtual level. But even when the music is good, it just kinda sucks because this being a early 2000s PC game means that the loops for everything is just so short, and the music really doesn't have time to like properly breathe. But I suppose despite being short, it is still pretty sweet. But anyway, that covers the music. So I guess all that's really left to talk about with this game is why I don't have exactly the most fondest of memories with it. And well, that's because of this game's difficulty, but not in a regular sense. Since this game is like really easy, you can't even die in it. No, when I talk about what's difficult in this game, I mean its controls. Because Jimmy has tank controls for whatever reason. Or at least I believe this is tank controls, because I really don't play those types of games. Especially when I was a kid. Which just leads me to the memories I have of this game of just being so frustrated with the controls. And Jimmy just being so floaty when he jumps. I mean, I would have so many issues jumping from platform to platform in this game that a certain part of it is like ingrained in my mind. That being in the Egypt level when you're crossing the river. That's like the bane of my existence. And even playing today as an adult, it still is kind of really annoying to play this game. At certain parts, I should specify, because obviously as both a kid and an adult, I have beaten this game. It was never frustrating enough to give up on. But then I guess that brings up the real question of, would I play this game today if I hadn't had a, like, nostalgia hold on it? Or if I did play it, would I see it through to the end? And well, I really don't know the answer to that. I mean, this game is perfectly fine, but at the same time, it's not like some hidden gem, and the control scheme doesn't really help it. It'd probably be more worth checking out on a home console version, if it had one. For whatever reason, this game only came out on PC and Game Boy. But I suppose I've rambled on for long enough. That's all I had to say about this game.
So when it comes to this game, looking past my nostalgia for it, you can do better. But at the same time, I suppose that you could also do worse.
Wait here. I'll be right back. Ah, much better. Now let's go.